I'm really excited, but this is making me feel so happy because more than me for everyone else. I'm really excited for my friends, my family, Puerto Rico, all the Latino people around the world. Um, I'm excited about my culture. I'm excited about everything, not just for me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So this guy, Bad Bunny, is headlining the Super Bowl halftime show. And listen, I've never even heard of the guy before. I haven't listened to a single song, nothing. And now I'm sitting here like I'm completely out of the loop. I've been living under a rock. Because from what I'm reading, his fans are pumped about this. They're saying this is historic because he's the first solo Latin male to do it. I mean, big names like Jay-Z and Bruno Mars are coming out and giving this guy props. And his streaming numbers are massive from what I can see. So clearly the dude's popular. But the flip side to all this is a lot of people aren't very happy over it. Some are saying it's way too political, pointing to his criticism of U.S. immigration policies and the fact that he canceled his U.S. tour. And others think he just doesn't fit the football vibe for the Super Bowl. So I'm over here wondering, well, what do you all think? Is this a win for culture and diversity, or is the NFL totally missing the mark on this? Again, I'm a hockey fan, and I don't follow Bad Bunny or Bad Baby, whatever his name is, because honestly, I can't tell if I should be excited or confused by this whole thing.
I can't believe that the NFL thinks it's a good idea to have Bad Bunny perform at the Super Bowl halftime show. Like, who does the NFL think their fan base is? None of us football fans, or none of us men, want to listen to Bad Bunny perform at the Super Bowl halftime show. That's probably the worst decision you could have made, to have him perform at the Super Bowl halftime show. Like, come on.
So it was just brought to my attention in an urgent briefing that the Super Bowl, which is of course a very sacred tradition in our country, probably the most watched thing on TV, except for when I speak, of course. But I was just informed that in one of the most offensive and radical left and anti-Christian, also, don't forget that, moments in our country, the halftime show of our next Super Bowl will be done by I can't believe I'm saying this, Bad Bunny, okay? Now, what I've been told, we have intel briefings, this is a person from the Mexican city of Puerto Rico, okay? And already I have a problem with that, okay? It's the American Super Bowl where we crown a world champion. And to have somebody from the Mexican province or town or whatever of Puerto Rico, which has produced some, there's been some good things from Puerto Rico. We're friends, we're sort of allies, I think, with Puerto Rico. But this is going too far. This is sort of a desecration of our sacred traditions. And not to mention, we already have a bunny in America, and he's called the Easter Bunny. And the Easter Bunny is a good bunny, okay? Not a bad bunny. He's actually, some people even think he might be the greatest bunny. They call him a goat bunny, which sounds like a scientist put together like a rabbit and a goat in terms of
On Sunday, the NFL, Apple Music, and Roc Nation announced Bad Bunny as the 2026 Super Bowl headliner. They say he's going to bring his Latin trap and reggaeton, translation, his Spanish hip-hop, to the NFL's biggest stage. Bad Bunny is celebrating, saying this is for his people, their culture, and their history. Meanwhile, the rest of us are watching the biggest football event in America become a circus for demonic theatrics. Bad Bunny is the biggest name in his lane. Nobody's bigger right now. He's fresh off a Puerto Rico residency that looked less like concerts and more like on-stage satanic rituals with brain-dead people cheering it on like zombies. He's leading the Latin Grammys in nominations, one of the world's most streamed artists, and all of it in Spanish. Now, all of that is good for him, but let's not play crazy. This dude openly bragged about selling his soul. He's been dripping satanic imagery into his videos and live shows for years. Even ran that same playbook as Lil Nas X, dancing with the devil, kissing men on stage. Shocking the public, making evil trendy. For the record, that's why nobody's fooling with him no more. He gotta walk around in the middle of the street in tighty-whities, losing his mind. Well, Bad Bunny literally ran the same play. He danced with the devil, then he morphed into the devil. He's out here wearing women's clothes, kissing men live on stage at the VMAs, and constantly parades chaos and confusion like it's high art. He is a walking billboard for spiritual rot. And here's where it gets plain dumb. Americans are so caught up in red versus blue, Republican versus Democrat, MAGA versus liberal, that they're turning this into a political battle. The Dems are using this as a strike against conservatives, so you've got the liberals pushing it, MAGA ticked off about it, and black folks lining up being herded like sheep into supporting devil worship as a form of rebellion in order to once again support whatever the political crips tell them to support. It's pathetic. The real war here isn't MAGA versus Bad Bunny and the devil. No, it's Bad Bunny and the devil versus God. Period. And judging by the filth and wickedness being celebrated, promoted, and normalized in this culture, way too many people, especially our people, have already picked the devil's side.
Oh, well, I guess we're not watching the Super Bowl this year because who is Bad Bunny and why is he going to perform in Spanish, baby? Who is we? Who is... Debi tira ma foto de cuando...
It is a bad day in the Confederacy because Bad Bunny is performing at the Super Bowl. Just off of him being Puerto Rican alone and an ally with the LGBT community, they're about to chew him up with them comments. I came here for football, not Fashion Week. What is he even saying? If that's how they treat performers that were born in the United States, I don't even know what they're gonna do. Anyways, he need to bring out Cardi B and perform I Like It Like That. I wish they could say, please rise for the national anthem and then start playing Moscow Mule.
Well, folks, the MAGA influencers have found their new thing to be angry about, and no, it's not their cult leader doing something stupid, it's something entirely pointless. If you haven't seen it yet, Bad Bunny has been announced as the 2026 Super Bowl halftime show, and this has already sent MAGA into a spiral. For example, Benny Johnson said, "This is Bad Bunny, who was announced as the halftime show. He's a massive Trump hater, anti-ICE activist, knows songs in English." Sounds pretty great. He even canceled his entire US tour for the reason effing ICE could be outside my concert, and it's something we were talking about and are very concerned about. The NFL is self-destructing year after year. My point stands. He sounds fantastic. And of course, he's not a boring white guy like Kid Rock, so Republicans just don't like him. It's also been very funny to watch the different MAGA accounts post photos of Bad Bunny like this, implying that he's not a real man or that he's feminine or whatever. And the same dudes making these arguments are the same guys sitting in their basement right now with Cheeto dust all over their keyboard. They're also the same people who would kill for the opportunity to date people that Bad Bunny has dated in the past. I mean, Kendall Jenner, for example. So in case you're interested in what the MAGA guys are focused on today, probably this.
You know, it's funny, I woke up this morning and checked my phone, and there was a headline that read, "Bad Bunny is selected to perform at the Super Bowl halftime show." And I can't think of a better opportunity to go to the restroom, take a walk around the block, drive down to McDonald's, because any of those options is way better than watching the Super Bowl halftime show with Bad Bunny. I mean, this guy literally canceled his entire US tour in protest of ICE. Essentially saying he doesn't agree with what the U.S. government is doing. And you have your right to not agree with what the U.S. government is doing. Believe me, I'm all for that. But what changed? All of a sudden now you want to perform in America? Like, you did your fans a huge disservice that you have in this country by canceling your U.S. tour because you weren't happy with what the government's doing. Like, you owe it to your fans to perform. But you want to protest, by all means. Knock yourself out. But what changed? Must be money. Good job, NFL. You're just continuously doing things that makes me not want to watch.
I don't believe that Bad Bunny should be playing at the Super Bowl, man. Like, he don't speak English. We don't know what he's saying. I mean, I don't know how else to explain it. Football is American, like, through and through. It's American. Like, they don't play football in other parts of the world. It's only played here. All right, now if it was a baseball tournament or something like the MLB World Series, okay, Bad Bunny could play at that. I'm with that. You feel me? Because that's like, hella Latinos, play baseball. Or soccer. Oh, yeah, if it was soccer, oh, yeah, it's lit. But for football, the NFL, it don't really fit. I'm sorry, it just doesn't fit. And before y'all say I'm racist, man, shout out to all my Puerto Rican homies, man. Shout out to my Boricuas. Like, I f with Puerto Ricans, so it ain't no racial issue. It's just like, We don't really like listen. Americans don't really listen to that shit. I'm gonna be honest, bro. I never heard no Americans listen to Bad Bunny. Like, that's a specific Latino thing. Like, you know what I'm saying? So that's my opinion on it.
This will be the worst Super Bowl halftime show you have ever watched in your entire life. 2025 Super Bowl halftime show will be performed none other than Bad Bunny, one of the biggest artists in the world. I think the biggest Latin artist in the world. I mean, just take a look at this guy's monthly listeners. But there's no one more controlled than this guy. Depending on how long you've been following me, I made a lot of videos on this guy, but I promise you're going to see some type of satanic, Masonic imagery. Definitely a political agenda, probably a woke agenda. And I'm not just saying these. Take a look at any of this guy's music videos. Take a look at any of his concerts. They look like satanic rituals. And, you know, guess who picks the halftime show performers? It's Jay-Z. So everything makes sense, but this one, just pay attention.
Why the hell would the NFL choose Bad Bunny to do the Super Bowl halftime show? Think about it. The biggest stars in American music right now are Taylor Swift, who's at basically every Chiefs game, Post Malone, or even Drake. Any one of them would have been the obvious choice to have the Super Bowl halftime show. But instead, the NFL picks a guy where 90% of his music is in Spanish for the biggest American sporting event of the year. Well, the reason is a whole lot deeper than you think. The reason the NFL is doing this is simply because they have the US by the balls. They know for a fact, whether you like Bad Bunny's halftime performance or not, you're gonna come back next year and still watch the Super Bowl. The NFL knows that the US market is huge, but it's also saturated. Everybody knows about it. And the real path to growing a bigger business isn't trying to appease the Americans. It's growing internationally. Why do you think the NFL is scheduling all these games in Brazil, Ireland, the UK, Germany, Spain, and even Mexico? They don't want to be the biggest sport in the US like they already are. They want to be the biggest sport in the world. And what easier way to get millions more eyeballs on the Super Bowl than to have the biggest pop star in the entire world multiculturally to do your halftime show? You and I might love Post Malone and his music, but some random family in Brazil could not give two shits. Again, this is not a risky choice at all for the NFL. It's an absolute layup. The NFL has no risk with US fans here whatsoever. He's also huge in the US. So you might not like this choice, but it is incredibly obvious why they're doing it.
Sorry, not sorry, I'm not going. Nope. These satanic rituals alone are enough for me to turn the TV off.
Yes. Yes. Jesus praise the Lord. Yes, God. Hallelujah, God. Yes. We don't want no devils in our house, God. Yes, we want the Lord. Yes, Jesus.
Nope, that energy will not be welcomed here, not happening. But on top of that, this man is going to perform for an American sport, watched by millions of English-speaking Americans, and the whole set is Spanish for 15-20 minutes straight. Like, what's going on? And of course, they're saying Jay-Z picked the halftime show yet again. Desiree Perez and Jay-Z all over this. Absolutely disgusting. I don't want to see no men kissing on stage. Remember, it's supposed to be a football game, a sport with a predominantly male audience and children watching, not some demonic cabaret. No, I don't care what gang you're banging, the Blue Dems or the Red Republicans. I will not be supporting devilish rituals parade on stage in front of millions. This is horrible. And once again, they're lining up the sheep to follow the devil, all dressed up as some kind of political rebellion. I'm telling you, it's getting harder and harder to see whether they're following the devil or if they flat out morphed into the devil. But I digress. Let's go ahead and get the conversation started. Tell me what you think about this mess below. Gotta send a big shout out to Debbie. Thank you, Debbie, for your contributions to the channel, as well as our brother Dark Power, Day One supporter. You can show your support as well. The link to PayPal is below. Ladies, fellas, want a balanced analysis, want the truth from a woman's perspective? Then you're going to want to subscribe to this channel, and don't forget to like and share.